Welcome back, everybody, to TalksWithTheGeeks.com. Justin here, back with more reviews. Today, we are going to be reviewing the animated film from DC, which is entitled Catwoman Hunted. As always, I give you a brief synopsis, so here we go. Catwoman's attempt to steal a priceless jewel puts her squarely in the crosshairs of powerful villains, Interpol and Batwoman. And I will go on record to say I did enjoy this movie, but it's not without its problems and issues that I have. So the first thing I want to talk about is, what is this film like? Let's talk a little bit first about the animation, tone of the film, and why people are asking why Batman's not included. And let me just say this: the reason why Batman wasn't included, based off an interview I read on Cinnamon Blend, I believe it was, is that they felt that Batman, just including it, people would assume that this is a Batman movie, and they felt Catwoman would have been overshadowed, which is legit reasons, because anytime you put Batman in there, he's always the main focus. Now, I will say that, how can I describe this film? And this is, by the way, spoiler free. Best way I could describe this film is Catwoman in the style of Lupin the Third. If you are a anime fan, I will say, an old school anime fan, I would say that the tone feels like Lupin the Third and City Hunter, and DC's attempt to try to replicate that tone and feel. And for the most part, I would say they succeeded when it comes to presentation. Story-wise, I will have to say I have a little issues with the story. I'm going to get into that a little bit. Once again, spoiler free. Animation-wise, I want to talk animation first. Animation, it looks good in some parts, and other parts is like, when it comes to the CGI needed a little bit more work. It needed a little bit more crisp. Especially when you watch the film, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to the CGI during the car chase scene, where you can see that it's a nice 2D background, but the 3D in the CGI really stands out. And for me, it just pops. It's so noticed. It didn't look polished to me. Like, I'm not a tech person, so I can't tell you about pixelated graphics like that. Like, you just saw a little image of it. For me, like, there's this one shot where it just really stood out, and it was very distracting to see. It didn't look good to me. Animation wise, it really does have kind of an anime type of inspired feel. I would say it has the same anime style of the Boondocks a little bit when it comes to the art style of it. But for the most part, the animation is solid, minus a little bit of CGI hookups from here and there. Now, as far as the story goes, story wise, from a character standpoint, they nail Selena Kyle to a T. They do show a very femme fatale Selena Kyle that we all know and love. And for the most part, and the sad part, she's the only one who really gets some character treatment here. You have other DC villains who I will not spoil, and you have the appearance of Batwoman, who I will say is a very one-note bland in this movie. She is just very bland. I wasn't a fan of Batwoman in this. It was very disappointing. Wasn't a huge fan of Batwoman in this. Very, very bland. And what I mean is that she's a very one note. It's just like, I'm gonna stop this and just gonna protect you, and that's it. It's very nothing really deep diving in the psyche of Batwoman or even the villains at that either. It's just kind of Catwoman is stealing this cat's eye jewelry, and she unfortunately gets herself in a situation that now everybody's gunning for her, and that's what the title is for Catwoman Hunted. You have various appearances from DC's Rogues Gallery of Villains. Some are a nice surprise, some are cool, and some are just like, what? How? What? So you're just tossing this person here because y'all need obstacles. So the villains also felt kind of very generic in one note. That doesn't mean that the film is bad. It is a very enjoyable film, but for the most part, like I said, it captures, if it was trying to go for this Lupin the Third, City Hunter type of tone, they succeed very well. And I will say the reason why they succeed very well with that is trying to capture that tone is the music. The music is beautiful. They have this jazz orchestrated soundtrack which was beautifully composed which really sets the tone and really gets you into that Lupin the Third, City Hunter type of feel. And it works. It really works. Like if they chose any type of style of music, I don't think they would have nailed the tone that they were actually trying to go for. And I say the music really elevated the film for me, which is very rare. Usually it's the story, the characters that really keeps me gripped in it. But anytime any type of music from the soundtrack was played, I was just like, yeah, I'm in. Like it hits perfectly. So if they want to really make this something like Catwoman's Lupin the Third, I would say tone wise they succeeded. I just wish the story was a little bit better. I wish that Selena wasn't the only one who really felt like a character. Like she felt very fleshed out. She felt, for me personally, she felt more fleshed out. I mean, we did get a little bit of sexual tension between her and Batwoman, and with her, and a little bit of nods to Batman. But even from the villain standpoint, the villain at the end who they reveal, I was like, okay, this should have been the main big bad, the person in the shadows who was finally revealed to be the one responsible for everything. It was like, who has a legit reason to in beef with Selena. It was like, okay, if this villain was put in the forefront instead of the surprise element we got here, this would have made it would have made much more sense. But for the most part, it was just like everybody hunts Selena, and Selena's talking her way out. But overall, it is a fun film. I am gonna recommend it as a rental. I'm gonna say rent this one or put it in your queue if it happens to be on HBO Max down the line or on your list. It is a rental. Animation is pretty good. It does capture a little bit of that anime inspired type of animation that we're starting to see. The CGI at points can feel a hit or miss. Oh, voice acting performances are all well done. No, I had no problem with the voice acting at all. Pretty good stellar performances all around, especially Selena. And I would say Batwoman was bland. The villains felt bland and very one note. Nothing really, no layers. It was just kind of like this scene, this scene, this scene. It was very bland. So I'm gonna give this an average rating. I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars out of 5. I'm gonna give this a rental. And that's it. This is Justin from OtakusGeeks.com saying later days. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this on OtakusGeeks.com. Please browse the website, check out our interviews, check out Nadia's new editorial on some underrated Netflix stuff you can watch over there, and be prepared to see some more editorials from us as well. And I will be back with more winter anime coverage. I know I am backlogged right now. I was just finishing up my trilogy for my comic book, which will be in production in April. So that's it. And later days, thank you for support. And what did you think of the film? Leave a comment below and let me know. Peace.